Our visiting guest speaker, Sheikh Minay, my brother, sister, elders and sisters in Iman. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wahab Bin Abdullah Qalbi was a Christian from a Christian tribe and did not know Imam Hussein at the time. He had just gotten married and was returning to his family with his middle-aged mother and his wife. As Imam Hussein's caravan advanced towards Kufa, he saw a half-burnt tent in the distance of the desert of Thabia. The Imam went to the tent and found an old Christian woman who was very poor. The Imam asked her about her situation in the desert, and she explained, "We managed to survive, but there is a drought. If there was water, our lives would be far more comfortable." The Imam took the woman to a rock, and as he struck it with his spear, a cold spring of water gushed forth. The old woman could not contain her joy and repeatedly thanked the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Before leaving, Imam Hussein advised the old woman the reason why he was making this long journey through the hot desert and said his goal was to camp in Karbala. He asked the old woman to tell her son, Wahab Bin Abdullah Qalbi, a young Christian boy, to join him and help him in the way of truth. Wahab, his mother, Qamar, and his wife Hania, whom he had recently married, lived in the desert of Labia. Wahab was a shepherd and would take his flock of sheep and goats to his pasture in the mountains and would return home every night. All three Christians lived a simple life and they were very poor, even though they were very poor. When Wahab's little caravan crossed that of Imam Hussein's caravan, he listened to many of Imam Hussein's lectures that he gave at every stop of his people. Wahab was very impressed from Imam Hussein's personality, honesty, piety, and knowledge. Wahab kept discussing all of this with his mother, and continued going with Imam Hussein's caravan until they arrived in Karbala. The situation in Karbala was quite different. Everybody knew staying with Imam Hussein meant definite death and they couldn't escape it. Wahab discussed the situation with his mother for the last time on the night of Ashura. He asked his mother, "Mother, what should I do in this situation?" The mother asked Wahab, "How do you feel yourself, my son?" Wahab said, "In my opinion, Imam Hussein is on the just path and it would be cowardly against all traditions of Arab courage to leave the side of a man so isolated and surrounded by bloodthirsty enemies." The mother said, "But that means definite death." Wahab replied, "Yes, I know, but my heart tells me that this is the right thing to do in the circumstances." The mother then said, "If that is how you feel, then we will stay with Imam Hussein alayhi salam." Wahab then ran into the battlefield with a sword in his hand reciting war poetry. He fought furiously and killed several enemy soldiers, returned to his mother and asked, "Mother, are you pleased with me?" Then the mother replied, "May Allah be pleased with you, but I would really be pleased to see you dying in the action protecting the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad." Wahab returned to the battlefield with a new determination and strength and started fighting even more intensely, killing several more enemies. The mother stood by her tent and kept encouraging him to fight. Finally, Wahab was wounded and surrounded by enemies from all sides. He was cut down by the Umayyad soldiers. And when his wife saw this, she ran to Wahab's side and sat down and wept with her face on her husband's face. Shimon was watching this, and he ordered his slave to go and kill the young woman. Shimon's slave came with a club and hit her on the head. Umar bin Sa'd ordered his soldiers to sever Wahab's head off and throw it to his mother. The soldiers did that, and Wahab's mother came forward, picked up his severed head, wiped the dust off of his forehead, kissed it, and sent it back, saying, "This was sadaqah given away in Allah's way. It will not be taken back." May Allah grant us the tawfiq to serve Imam Mahdi alayhi salam just like Wahab served Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un.